Okay, so I'm headed to film this intro. Beautiful sunny day here in Kentucky. There's a sweet little bottle calf. Those white flags are where we buried our underground fence. I need to train the poodles to stay in there. Let's film this intro in the back of that truck. Hi, baby. Hi, little one. He's been getting his head stuck. See that dirt right there? That's where the fence line was. He was getting his head stuck through that fence because he was trying to eat that grass. So this morning my son came out and opened this up so he can get all that to eat, and he's been enjoying it. His name is Bull. Excuse me, it's Bully. He must be a bull. Yep, that's a little baby bull. Look at all that grass. Okay, let's film this intro. Hello. Hi. So, let me hop up on the back of this truck here. Okay, let's do this. Hi, my name is Emily. I am a faithful follower of Christ, and I am addicted to sugar, flour, and binging. I haven't said that in so long. Do I say that first or do I say that second? Hi, my name is Emily. I'm addicted to sugar, flour, and binging, and I'm a faithful follower of Christ. I think that comes first. So, hi, I'm Emily. I'm a faithful follower of Christ, and I'm addicted to sugar, flour, and binging. That's my Celebrate Recovery intro. All right, so this video, I had no intention of making, which I love. I love the way it worked out. I started a 10-day sugar detox 11 days ago. And there's my old house. Pretty soon that will be a second story with extra bedrooms and bathrooms. Our house was built in 1829. It's almost 200 years old. I started a sugar detox because I relapsed. For sure, it was a relapse. In fact, it was a kind of a 3-part relapse that on my weight loss graph, or I should say my weight graph, because it's more than just weight loss, that's for sure. It made a nice big capital W. When I get to my goal weight, I'll show you all a picture of my graph because it looks so cool. Big capital W, you can imagine what I mean. My weight was going up and down there for a while. I mean, just total relapse. I couldn't call it a hiccup. I couldn't call it anything but a relapse. At one point I gained 9 pounds in 18 days. At another point I gained 12.3 pounds in 21 days. That is a series of serious binging, and I'm just so happy to report that I just completed this 10-day fast. And I sincerely believe I would not have completed it without you all. Ah, that's better. That tailgate was really hot. I just don't want to start this over. You all know I don't like to edit. I want to eat my lunch. So I want to get this done. Oh, it's toasty in here. But that tailgate was toasty. Okay, so this is a truck that my kids drive all over the farm. If you have a farm, you know what I mean when I say kids drive. I think my son's been driving since he was 11. And he's 14 now, and I'm like so tempted to tell him to like run to the grocery for me. But I won't. Anyways, so I don't believe I would have completed the 10 days without you all. Day 1 went well, day 2 went well, and then we took off to Michigan for a family vacation, and I was pretty determined, and you might have seen my other videos where I've completed Bright Vacations before, but I remember, I mean, it took a lot of like concentration and like hard work, and I was like, it just took a lot. It was like, sort of zapped me of my bright line eating superpowers. I was just, so I sort of went into this vacation thinking it was going to be like that. Like, I can do it, but it's going to be hard. And, it wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it would be. For one thing, we don't have little babies anymore. Traveling with babies, you need vacation from your vacation. Am I right? We don't have little bitty babies anymore. So I could actually just enjoy. Everyone was able to sort of pack themselves and get themselves in the car. And then when we got there, they could unpack themselves. And, there's just so much time throughout the week that I was able to just rest and relax, a little R&R. So it wasn't so bad. Day 5, I had a tricky moment that I talk about in this vlog, in this video. I was about ready to throw in the towel, but I didn't. And I had a very, very powerful, very pivotal moment on my overall journey. I've been doing bright line eating. Look at that. It says bright. I've been doing bright line eating for 21 months now. And again, when we're moving along in life, it's not usually heading in the, hear me on this. Heading in the direction we want to head in is not always a 90-degree angle. Sometimes those 90 degrees happen in increments, incrementally. So, you're going in one direction, it's not the right direction, you want to head that way. But, for some of us, we just make a right turn, period. And that's that. And that was our story. And you hear people say, yeah, one day I quit binging. One day I went to the gym and it was just on from there. For a lot of us, those 90 degrees to turn happen gradually, maybe 7 degrees here, 1 degree there, 10 degrees there. Sometimes we make a nice big curve and curve over like 30 or 40 degrees at once. But the 5th night of this detox was and my overall goal, my overall journey was pivotal for me. And it helped me. It was exciting. It helped me to realize that there are so many reasons that we binge. And we have to, some of us stop binging and never binge again. Other of us can't go around it. We have to go through it, and we have to figure out and work through all the many reasons we binge. And I believe I came to one of my final reasons for binging. I'll go into that here in a second. But on the 5th night of this detox, I had such a pivotal, powerful moment that it did involve tears. I'll talk about it later on this video. But it was so powerful that the next morning I grabbed my camera and thought I'd kind of record a couple minutes. 37 minutes later, you'll see it here in a minute. And then I thought, well, my goodness, I'll just go ahead and vlog my way through. And I'm telling you, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. Thank you for listening. Thank you for traveling with me. We are doing this together. It's humbling to realize other people have the pieces to our puzzles, and that's by design. God did not create us to be alone. He created us to be in community with one another, the body of Christ. I believe that's 1 Corinthians 9:27. I don't know. I could be wrong. That's what comes to mind. Maybe 1 Corinthians 12:27. I don't know. Here, I'll look it up. Yes, 1 Corinthians 12:27. Now you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it. So I'll attach that little picture here in a second. I don't know that I would have made it through those 10 days without you, without this. Because after I recorded that 37-minute, I was tempted further to just throw in the towel, all for more momentary pleasure. But God kept telling me no, because if you eat that, then you've got to delete all that good stuff. And I don't want to eat stuff that tastes well if it means sacrificing good information that I could share with you all, or my own sobriety and my own detox, and the opportunity to keep going. So today is day 1 of the next 10 days of detox. I've decided, my husband is so smart. He said, think of it as sets, like when you're working out, right? So I did 10 days. Now I'm doing another 10 days. It's a set. So I'll show you pictures of my journal. I just went back over the last 10 days and put a little 1 in the corner, and I put a little 2 in the top of this corner, because something about 10 days at a time feels very doable to me. And it's very motivating to me to think every day is another 10% of those 10 days. So you think 5, 6, 7, I'm already 70%. Shoot, I just keep going. 8, 9, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. And I did. I kept going. This 10 days, I'm going to link it below, where I got this idea to detox off sugar. But I'm totally doing bright line eating also. I'm doing bright line eating. I just, after that relapse, I could tell I need to do something that's sort of a shock to my system, like a wake up call. And so I thought, I just looked on YouTube, how to detox off sugar. I found this video and it told me how, and I'm going to include this look in the description below this video. 10 days off detox. This guy says, number 1, make a decision to do it. Number 2, do it cold turkey. Number 3, don't drink calories, which we don't anyways on bright line eating other than milk. Number 4, add protein with every meal, which we already do on bright line eating. Number 5, no starchy vegetables for 10 days. And I was like, okay, no peas, no corn. I can do that. Add nuts and seeds. And I was like, I can do that. Okay, I can have nuts and seeds with meals. No gluten or dairy for 10 days and get 8 hours of sleep. The seeds you're going to see on here. Now, I had already started taking pictures before I decided to vlog any of this because I thought I want the record. Years ago, I did a diet and took a picture of every single thing I ate for 6 weeks. And that is some pretty powerful accountability to take a photograph of what you're about to eat. So I was already doing that. So I have this for you. It's about to start now. I'll put a little music behind it and you'll see the whole 10 days. There was one meal I forgot to take a picture of, but it was bright, I promise. But I want you to notice that for me, what's been working is a pretty sweet breakfast. Like I have my natural peanut butter, 1 ounce of this cereal that I love, Uncle Sam's, and then 6 ounces of banana. So late at night when I'm craving something sweet, I know I'm about to get it the next morning. I like to start my day like that. I also love, a high protein breakfast. Someday when I'm in maintenance and I get more, that's going to be great because I can have like peanut butter and an egg or a couple eggs. But I'm just telling you, it's really been working for me is a pretty sweet breakfast and then a very crunchy lunch. And you're going to see, that's cute, a crunchy lunch. Look at this calf. He's so happy. I see you. He's having a very crunchy lunch. So kind of a sweet breakfast, a crunchy lunch. So raw vegetables, nuts, typically almonds. I've been highly protective of detoxing. So I haven't even wanted cashews or anything. I have not wanted anything that I typically want more of. And trust me, 2 ounces of almonds, I'm never usually wanting more almonds. So you're going to see that a lot in my pictures. And then dinner is more like a hot vegetable, like green beans or broccoli or something like that with just to make it feel more dinner-ish. So that's been going well. Dairy. Guys, dairy has casein in it. C-A-S-E-I-N. It's addictive. It's why pizza is the #1 most addictive food ever. It's flour topped with casein. It's bread topped with cheese. Cheese is addictive. The casein is addictive. It's known to be addictive, especially when it's melted. And isn't that the best? Melted cheese. 99% of my binges lately have started with cheese, right on into Triscuits. I'm going to talk about Triscuits on this. They've started with cheese because I'm like, cheese, that's a bright food. Okay, well, I know I'm so excited to start with cheese because I know in like 11 minutes, I will be on my way to a gas station to get a donut. It's a slippery slope. I am 10 days off cheese now, and I feel so free. And if you know me well enough to know, guys, cheese is my thing. And like I say, I think on this video, if it's something that you think you can't live without, you probably should. Right? As Christians especially, we don't want our brains being convinced that there's anything we have to have other than God himself, because there's not. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know we need food, water, and shelter. But I mean what our hearts long for. Psalm 23, I shall not want. And I shall not want cheese. So this is kind of the way I think of cheese too. It's my gateway drug. Now that sounds funny, but I swear to you, hear me. Cheese leads to flour, which leads to sugar, which leads to caffeine, which leads to alcohol. Cheese leads to Triscuits, which by the time I'm eating Triscuits, I might as well start eating whatever because I've already blown my boundaries, which leads to like chocolate, which leads to, if I'm already at the dollar store buying a bunch of chocolate, why wouldn't I get a soda? And by the time I've had a soda, I'm like, take me to El Torito or El Bracero so I can get a margarita. So Susan Pierce Thompson talks about that. She says, you know, years ago when she was like, when I ended up like right tangled up with crack cocaine again, it never occurred to me that it was from the beer that I had 6 weeks earlier, you know, or 6 days earlier, or 6 hours earlier. So I'm telling you right now, I feel very free from cheese. I'm going to continue this on. I don't know for how long, maybe forever, but I want freedom over cheddar. That's what it comes down to. And I feel free. I feel like strings have been clipped, especially thanks to this 10-day detox. It probably got to be like day 8 before I was like, I really feel free from cravings, to the point where I'm like, no, I don't even want to bite of it. I don't, keep it away from me, because I don't want to fire that back up. I was able to put out little fires, you know, stomping them out. I don't want some raging fire that it gets out of control again. So I am going to continue on to the point where I have done some research and called a good friend. Hi, Jennifer. You know, how to get calcium in my diet without dairy. So, and I looked it up. I was hoping that only casein was in cheese. Nope, it's in all dairy. So I'm pretty sure I could be drinking milk that might make me then crave marble cheddar melted on tortilla chips. I mean, it's my gateway drug. So let me put it this way. I have detoxed, and I do not want to retox. That's what it comes down to it. I am highly protective of this new detoxed body that I'm living in. Also, if you haven't watched it, go watch my previous video where it says Endure, Enjoy, Preview, Perfectionism, Nuance. I like to think of it as, you know, Susan Pierce Thompson talks about, she has something called our permission to be human. This perfectionism nuance is my permission to be perfect. Permission, imagine that. Okay. Hang on. Are you wondering what I'm doing? Oh, or have you figured it out? Whew, do you see my face turning red? I'm trying to get a breeze to blow through here, but I like the lighting in here. Permission to be perfect. Okay? Permission to be perfect. Yes, we need permission to be human, that's for sure. We are human whether we give ourselves permission or not, so we might as well. But permission to be perfect, I'll explain it in my perfectionism nuance. So I am giving myself permission to perfectly not ingest sugar and flour, and cling to my detox and not retox. So I'm pretty excited about this new mentality. Before I go any further, look, I got my little journal here. Diana, thank you for this. And Diana, quick shout out to you. Shout out to Diana in California, my forever accountability partner, my forever commitment partner. Girl, thank you. Thank you for everything. The impact you've had on my life is profound and long lasting. Especially I was thinking about how much now I value chewing and swallowing and breaking grain or produce or fruit or whatever with my family. I don't break bread with them, but I do break food with them. And it's helping me, helping my mentality to not feel so excluded or isolated. You know, I don't, there's no need to be. I go into that more on this video. So thank you, Diana, for my journal. Guys, just like in the olden days with my 110 videos on my page, I've scribbled out a couple little notes. I'm going to go over them now. This video is going to be however long it ends up, and maybe it'll be my only one for the next few months. I don't know. So break it up into 30-minute episodes if you want. And if none of you watch it, that's okay too. I'm pretty sure I'm on day 11 right now of my detox because of this little camera in my hand. So if I make this for no one else but myself, so be it. I'm watching two butterflies like flutter around. They look like two of my kids fighting. That's weird. They're flying off together, tied up. It's like they're tied up together. Maybe they're about to get tied up together. Get it? Okay. Anyways, let's see here. So many reasons to binge. Ready? Mental reasons, physical reasons, and finally, this final reason that I was tempted to binge on day 5, but I didn't. Mental reasons, to cope with life, to connect with people around us. Physical reasons, because you're hungry. Guys, I almost binged on day 5 for a spiritual reason, and that was just simply to rebel. Rebel against the boundaries that God has given me. I've been told that addicts like to hang out on the fence. We like to push the boundaries. And I love the illustration that a man was sitting on the fence and Satan walked up to him and said, "What are you doing?" And the man said, "Oh, I'm trying to decide which way I'm going to go. Do I want to go this way or that way? Do I want to go with God or, with you?" And Satan said, "Well, I own the fence." Whew! That's kind of a wake-up call, isn't it? God wants us in the dead center of his love for us. And that is where the true excitement comes, the true thrill, the joy. That's where our cups overflow. I'm really starting to see the people with mental health issues and addiction issues. Guys, they're smart. They're highly intelligent. If I do say so myself. And what I notice is that a lot of times they need more stimuli than some people. And so they want more excitement, more adrenaline, more. I have friends that have gotten themselves off hard drugs, and then they still jump out of airplanes. More. We want excitement. Don't let our excitement be hanging out on the fringe, hanging out on the fence, hanging out, pushing the boundaries of our programs. There's more to life than exciting bits of cheese and peanut butter we can sneak into our program. Let's get in the dead center of where God wants us, where he loves us. Let's get away from that fence, because I love that illustration when Satan says, "I own the fence." Let's get away from the fence. So I am you'll see it on here, cleaner the better. I'm feeling freer than ever. And I don't want to push the boundaries. So when I was on day 5, I was going to rebel, and I didn't. It was pivotal for me. That was a pivotal. That gave me a few more degrees. It might have gotten me. We shall see. Time will tell. It might have gotten me going in the direction I've been trying to go in. I've been aiming to go in. I don't like saying trying. I had a high school teacher that said there's no such thing as trying. You either do it or you don't. And we all debated, and we're like, no, because you can try to do this, you can try to do that, but think about it. If you're trying to be nice, you're not being nice. If you're trying to be funny, you're not being funny. I like to replace that word with aiming. I've been aiming to head in this direction, I believe. I believe I'm headed in the right direction. We'll see. Time will tell. So, mental reasons to binge, physical reasons to binge, spiritual reasons to binge. Just rebelling against the boundaries, our God-given boundaries. And I tell people, I say it on here, our cattle are not so happy because of their freedom. They're so happy because of their fence. We can be grateful for the boundaries we have, period. Again, some people quit binging and never go back. This has been a 21-month process for me to work through all the reasons that I binge. Let's see here. Journal. This is a tool. It's not my goal. Before I started doing this, and you're going to see how simple my journal is now. 10 days ago, I'd been trying to write in the journal. I was trying to have good handwriting. I was trying. I was aiming to have really nice handwriting. As if, I tell people, don't mistake the tool for the goal. This journal is a tool to help me execute bright line eating. When a carpenter, when he's given a new hammer, his goal is not to use the hammer. His goal is to build the house. So I was mistaking the journal and my handwriting and all my little notes and everything for as if that was the important part. And then I just realized here lately, I went back to my very first journal when I was doing so good on bright line eating, and I noticed that my handwriting was wild. I just jotted stuff down. I used my journal to journal. Imagine that, to get the thoughts and to process. I tell people my YouTube channel is me processing all this. Life is a process. Let's process it together. I use my journal now. On the back of every page, I've scribbled out all kinds of thoughts. Like, here's one. Yikes, today I had a couple rough moments that I'm afraid are going to be a glimpse of what the rest of the week's going to be like in Michigan. I just journaled. I just journaled to my thoughts, my emotions, instead of eating over them. So, let me encourage you to use your journal as a tool, not as like, the goal is not to have a beautiful journal. The goal is freedom from these things we're addicted to. Use your journal to get there. Your journal's not a beautiful journal with perfect handwriting. It's not what we're after. Okay, I told you there's going to be a link in the description below of the detox video that I watched. I'll also show you a picture of it here. You're going to hear me say something about we can never be separated from the love of God, and I could not recall the scripture. This is Romans 8:38 through 39. I was saying Romans 5. That's wrong. Here's my correction to that. Also, out of the mouth of babes is in the Bible. I knew it was Psalm 8:2 and Matthew 21:16. So Psalm 8:2 and Matthew 21:16. Both of those reference strength coming from the mouths of children. And that happens to me a lot. It's humbling for me to realize how much I can learn from my children and how often God speaks to me directly through them. That I'm like, whoa, they don't even realize what they just said. That was a message to me from Him. Okay, moving quickly. You're also going to hear me talk at the end of this vlog. I really hope that you'll stick through or just finally hear it all out, because this intro is not the good stuff. The good stuff is further in there. This intro is introducing the good stuff. You're going to hear me talk about the fact that I want to be grateful for the fact that I wake up every day working on sugar and flour. I have been given the opportunity, if you're interested, you can look it up. I have a YouTube channel called Free Produce Stand. God has many times given me the opportunity to give food to homeless people near me. And I'm telling you right now, getting off sugar and flour is not, nor should it be, in their top 100 of their list of priorities. Guys, the fact that we're even working on this speaks to, it's indicative of how well our needs are met, how good we have it, how blessed we are. You know, these people that I give food to, their priorities are like, where can I get a refrigerator? Is there a motel with a vacancy? Can you help me? I just got out of prison and no one will hire me. And I'm telling you right now, let's don't take for granted that these are the problems we wake up solving. In fact, it's motivating to me to solve them, because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I have it so good. I don't want to take that for granted. Luke 12:48, to much is given, much is expected. And like I said, these people, homeless people, for example, I guarantee you getting off sugar and flour is not something that crosses their mind. I wouldn't think. So, let's see here. Here's some numbers for you if you want them. So, like I said, my journal, my graph made a capital W. You'll hear more about this. That was up, down, up, down, up. So 3 different ups. I don't remember about the first one, but one of them was 9 pounds in 18 days. One of them was 12.3 pounds in 21 days. I am 10 days detox, but 14 days since I weighed last. So in 14 days, I'm down 9.8 pounds. Hallelujah. Praise God. I'm so glad to see collarbones. I'm so glad to see ankle bones. I'm so glad to see my body and not the swelling. So if you have relapsed, let me remind you, so much of that is water weight, and your fat cells are able, you'll never have more or less fat cells, period. You have the same number. They're either swollen up or they're not. So when they shrink down, they have room to hold on to water and all sorts of stuff. Don't be discouraged by that extreme weight gain. Yes, it'll take time to come off, but it's good for us to learn how to get it off. This whole experience is good. So down at 9.8 pounds in 14 days, my W that I'm going to call a win. I'm going to call that whole relapse a win, because I learned so much. It was a blessing to me. Do you hear me say that? The relapse was a blessing. It was a recharge, a refocus. It was a everything. It was really good. it makes a W. It makes a win. There's a hornet. It makes a win. I've come back down, not as low as I've ever been, so I still consider myself in the red, right? Like your bank statement. I want to get myself out of this debt. I'm in a little debt. It's okay. But I can tell you that when I had gained 12 pounds, isn't it awesome how when you've lost a whole lot of weight, when you gain some back, you're like, oh, I feel huge and my pants are so painfully tight. I had to snap out of that and go, Emily, you've gained some weight back, but you are still way down from where you started. So let's don't throw in the towel. That's when I got out Weight Fit. Weight Fit. The Weight Fit app, I'll include a picture. And I just put in all my data. And Mom, Alina, I burned my graphs. No, I didn't burn them. I shredded them. Get your data off of there if you want. Put it in the Weight Fit app or whatever. Start it over. I got rid of those because I was keeping record of all my binges. And I just felt God saying, I don't keep record of your wrongs. Why are you keeping record of it? I mean, I was keeping detailed record of all my binges, which was probably keeping too much sugar and flour on my mind anyways, just seeing it written on my graph like I ate this and this and this. And I might glance at it and think, that sounds good for dinner. Anyways, I put all that on there. What's amazing to me is that even when I went down and then back up and made this W, guys, I still stayed in the normal BMI range. Now that is super motivating. So now I'm even further, like in the BMI range. I was almost overweight again, but I'm kind of back near, closer to the middle where I want to be, in the dead center of God's love for me. I don't want to be on these edges of overweight or underweight. I want to be kind of in the middle. So let me encourage you to get that app and just start putting your data in so that you can see when you go up and you feel like you gained it all back. Because listen to this, my size 8 jeans were tight. Size 8. I was wearing a size 22. My size 8 jeans got tight. No, Emily, it's not time to throw in the towel. No, they fit great again. I got those 10 pounds off, 9.8 pounds. I mean, keep a perspective. Zoom out. Look at the big picture. Cling to the progress you've made and the progress you still have. Do not let 12 turn into 24, turn into 48. And if it has for you, I tell people there's no such thing as gaining your weight back. That's new weight. You're learning new lessons. It can all, Romans 8:28, all be used for good, for the glory of God. So there's no such thing as square one. There's no such thing as a point of no return. The only point of no return is when we leave these bodies and head towards eternity in one direction or the other. Let's all meet in heaven. Am I right? Okay. So my final little thing I want to say here is this. You're going to hear me talk about rewards being tools. Here's a perfect example. So I am leading a Bible reading group. We're on the book of Chronicles. Holy moly, have you ever read it? Not a lot of dopamine releasing, reading about all that genealogy. So I had to force myself, just like with the laundry, force myself through it. Now it's getting much more interesting talking about David and his reign and leaving Solomon to build the temple. I mean, it's turning into more of a story. But for a while there was genealogy, which is very important and very impressive. And you're going to hear me talk about a family reunion here in this video. And I tried to start making sense of who was who. Quit immediately. This man walked up to me and was like, I can tell you about Uncle Jack. And Jack was really a different guy, and they called Jack. And I was like, I'm out. I'm tapping out. I quit. I know who my husband is and who his mother is and who his grandmother is. That's all I need to know. I'm kidding. I really, really appreciate it. But the genealogy in Chronicles is impressive. Oh my goodness. It goes all the way back to Adam. That's amazing. That's amazing. That is a miracle in itself that kind of record has withstood, time before it could be on the internet and never lost. Okay. Speaking of rewards, let me tell you about this. So I'm reading Chronicles. I thought I'm going to show you all this perfect example of rewarding your brain. When my husband and I taught special education, we taught kids that did not have much of an attention span, a lot of them. So we would have them work for 15 minutes, and then they got to play Uno for 5. So work for 10, play for 5. Work for 10, play for 5. Some of them probably needed to work for 5, play for 5, right? But we compartmentalized. Do the work, then play. I used to tell my students, with severe behavior issues. Guys, let's don't play while we're working, because then we have to work while we play. You know, let's like really work so then we can go outside and toss a football for 20 minutes. Okay, let me show you this. So this is what I came up with earlier today to get myself through Chronicles. I started on chapter 17 because I read quite a bit of it before. Chapter 17, then I get water, and you know I like to start the day with water, so I did not even get my water until I read that. Chapter 18 and 19, breakfast. Chapter 20, 21, 22, then the YouTube intro. That's what I'm doing right now. Then 23 and 24, I'll create the video and get it uploading. Then 25, 26, 27, and I'll have lunch. 28, 29, and I get to mow. Not that it needs it. Look at this grass. I'm hoping I don't have to mow twice. Anyways. And by the way, I'm also listening to Chronicles, this awesome voice. I'll link that below also. This guy has such a cool voice. I'm listening to it in King James, and I'm reading it in NIV, New International Version. And so that's interesting. I've actually, now that it's gotten into the story instead of the genealogy, the genealogy was perfect because I cannot pronounce any of these names. And just to hear the guy's voice, I was able to skim over because it's two different translations. It's not verbatim. I could just hear him pronounce all these names perfectly and beautifully. Or so we all think. I don't know. He could be pronouncing them all wrong. I don't know any different. But once he got into the story talking about David, I actually had to stop him and read it. And then I'd listen to him. And between the two translations, I was learning all sorts of new vocabulary. My mom's beeping in. Hi, Mom. I'll call you back. So anyways, I will link that below also. I'll link what I've been listening to because while I do want to read it, the genealogy is just a little hard to read. I mean, I literally can't read it. It's like reading a foreign language. But I wanted to show you. These are my dangling carrots. Water, breakfast, YouTube, lunch, mow. That's it. Without further ado, let's get into this video and this vlog. And I believe this is it. I'm going to go read a couple more chapters and then I'll link all these together and I'll put it right out there for you guys. And for me, I love you so much. Thank you for traveling with me. Here's a little sneak peek of what I'm going to show you on this video. I'll explain it here in a minute. That was a little tease to try and get you to listen to the rest of it. You don't have to listen to it, but I love the messages that God gave me to give to you. And I swear to you, He gave them to me to give to me. I filled in at a church recently and I told these people, I was like, look, I'm preaching to myself. It's good for me to hear it. I love you all. We'll talk again soon. Bye. Okay, I've read a couple more chapters of Chronicles. I'm editing this video. I want to tell you two things. The little fruit cups came from a gas station. My whole family was eating at Taco Bell. I saw that gas station and walked over there and walked in and asked the lady if she had any fruit, like apples or bananas, and she said no, but I found those on the shelf. So don't be afraid to go into a gas station and see what kind of bright foods you can find. Also, in this video, you're going to see me eating some stuff, maybe a couple times in a couple different videos, that looks like a bowl of baby poop. It is so good. It's so simple. I take the ½ ounce of nutritional yeast that we get, and I mix in the 2 ounces of salsa with some salt. And it's so good for your raw vegetables. Use your nutritional yeast and salt to create a dip for your vegetables. By the way, thank you. I'm sorry I can't think of your name, but you know who you are. You gave me the idea to start buying my nutritional yeast in bulk on Amazon. I'm going to start doing that for sure. That's it. Bye. let me tell you about this tally mark I just earned. So I'm giving myself tally marks for any time that I'm suddenly overcome with cravings, or any time that I talk myself down out of even allowing the food thoughts to grow. The sooner we catch them, the better, the quicker, the better. Especially since for some of us, oh my goodness, sorry, my nose itches. For some of us, boy, can't those grow quickly, especially when we are on vacation, which is where I am. We're in northern Michigan visiting family. So last night I got 6 tally marks before one meal, because 6 times my brain got this big idea to just go ahead and eat whatever I wanted at dinner, quote unquote, eat whatever I wanted at dinner. And my husband and I both know eat whatever I want, just go ahead and eat whatever I want, means the beginning of a brutal night of potentially, I'm not going to say every time, but I'm going to say 99.9% of the time, that would just be the catalyst to a big old binge, because dinner was crazy. So why not have the rest of the night be crazy all the way till the clock strikes midnight? That's my stopping point. So that the next day can be perfect, right? But here's the thing, I'm on day 5 of this detox, and I do not want to discredit being 5 days off sugar, flour, and caffeine. Here's my little decaf coffee. So I just earned a tally mark, because not only am I giving myself tally marks for when I persevere through sudden cravings, when I talk myself down out of my brain getting big ideas about binging, but also, and this is how the tally mark started, for when I do not turn to food to handle exhaustion. That is how I got myself in the pickle I'm in, the pickle of addiction, by conditioning my brain that, oh, you need to keep going? I have a solution. It's called an upper. It is sugar, flour, and caffeine. I used it like cocaine as an upper for decades. So I just earned it. And by the way, 100 tally marks equals a pedicure. And here's the thing, people, about rewards like that. Give them to yourself freely. I am giving myself these tally marks freely. Like I said, I earned 6 before one meal last night, because 6 times, 6 separate times, my brain got the big idea to just eat whatever I wanted at dinner. And it was like, if my brain were hooked up, you'd see it light up. 6 different times it got excited about just tossing all this, tossing all my progress, tossing my goals, tossing all of it for momentary pleasure at a pizza place down the road. So I was thrilled to give myself 6 tally marks. For one thing, I would go get myself a pedicure anyway, so I'm actually slowing down the money spending process just by making myself earn it. So anyways, by all means, if you do something like this, let yourself earn 35 in one day. The whole point is to modify behavior, and it's a big deal to catch those thoughts before they have a chance to grow. 6 little itty bitty fires that you could just stomp out with your foot. That's a whole lot better than one fire that got a little bigger and then out of control. Am I right? So, I have this coffee in my hand, and I'm realizing I typically talk with my hands, and I can't right now. So, okay. I just now earned a tally mark because I ate my lunch, and we're about to take all our kids to swim in a lake around here. And my husband does not have swim trunks with us, so he said, I might sit this one out, which I thought, oh, that's going to be a lot of momming for me, getting down there with the kids in the lake. I ate my lunch, I felt tired, and all right, I need my hands for this. The justification meter was starting to go. My brain was starting to be able to justify eating. And here's the thing, the tricky thing, and my husband's pointed this out, I could stuff myself with bright foods and not feel any better, because yes, it's energy that I'm wanting, but I'm not going to feel it like I used to for decades, because while it's energy that I'm wanting, the way I used to get energy was by getting high. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that, high on sugar, flour, and caffeine. Those are drugs, and they have a physiological, psychological effect on our brains. Anyways, all of this to say, I went to the bathroom. I was getting ready. I was like in the bathroom by myself, getting ready to go, like changing into my swimsuit, whatever, getting all ready for this. And while I had a moment alone, I prayed to God and I prayed to him, Lord, how do you want me to handle this? Because I was close to just tossing my progress here. 5 days without this stuff in my system is a big deal. And I'm noticing the less I consume sugar, flour, and caffeine, the less I crave it. I know, doesn't that just seem so obvious? It almost seems embarrassing, but I used to think I could sort of binge once every couple weeks, and like, what's the harm in that, right? If I can keep my weight under control, if I can keep my weight under control, the harm in it is that it stays in my system, and the harm in it is that I'm never free. So I actually am experiencing a newfound, profound freedom from the grips and the strings of sugar, flour, and caffeine. I'm on day 5 of a 10-day detox. I'm not touching starchy vegetables or cheese, which is new for me. And cheese has casein in it, which is highly addictive. And I do believe I'm addicted to cheese. That's what started my 100-pound weight gain. Was right after we got married, we had a big block of cheddar cheese somebody gave us, and we were broke and married and had this little house, and every night I would melt tons of that over top of tortilla chips. So anyways, I'm off sugar, flour, caffeine, and casein. And I was this close to throwing in the 5 days of progress about an hour ago, and I prayed to God, how do I handle this? And he said so clearly and unmistakably 2 words. I just heard him loud and clear. He said, endure it. That kind of made me want to cry. That's not what I wanted to hear. Endure it. Oh, okay. Okay, I can. I will. Not what I wanted to hear. But what he reminded me of was what my friend Jennifer reminded me of, which is 1 Corinthians 10:13, that you will be tempted by nothing, no more than what's common to mankind, but that God is faithful and he will allow you a way out of it so that you can endure it, not so that you can avoid it, but so that you can endure it. And I was also reminded in that moment when he said endure it, of what he endured. Oh, he could have tapped out at any moment. And whether you believe Jesus is the Savior of the world, or whether you believe he was just a man, that's not debatable. His life has been proven. He did exist. What's for us to decide is if he was telling the truth or not, that he is who he says he was. He's shown me in infinite ways that he absolutely is, and I have no doubt that Jesus is the Savior, the Messiah. But even if you don't believe he's the Messiah, he was a real human being that lived for 33 years and actually went through what he went through. And he never tapped out. He never cried uncle. And when I think of what he endured for me, and I hold that up next to me enduring not eating peanut butter, makes me want to stop obsessing over it and dwelling on it. So he said, endure it. 1 Corinthians 10:13. He's going to provide a way out so that we can endure it. He also tells us in James 1:2 to count it all as joy. Count it all as joy. As you're going through trials and tribulations, count it all as joy. So I just wrote down in my journal, endure, period, enjoy, period. Endure, enjoy, endure, enjoy, endure, enjoy. And here's the neat thing. As soon as all that came to mind, my brain, I just got the second wind, and my brain was feeling better than it would had I just stuffed myself with bright foods, knowing that if I broke my boundaries with bright foods, that's all I would need to break my boundaries with sugar, flour, and caffeine. So it would not even be the peanut butter and the banana that got me feeling better. It would be the sugar, flour, caffeine, and casein that would probably follow very quickly after. In fact, I scanned my little kitchen in this cabin we're staying in, and we had peanut butter and bananas. That's pretty good. Bananas have sugar. That might do what my brain was hoping it would do. But then I saw, aha, we've got Cheerios and milk, so I could have a bowl of, I mean, I was already like getting it all figured out. And that would have like started what would have been today's July 28th, it would have been a July 28th binge until the clock struck midnight. And then tomorrow I wouldn't just start over on my bright eating, I would have to start over on my detox, because I'd be toxed. And I would need to get detoxed. So, all this to share with you all, what a lovely moment. Endure, enjoy, endure, enjoy. And I might even go ahead and post this. I don't know. Hi, I love you. I miss you. If I do decide to post this, I'm not at my goal weight. And that's okay. I'll get there the exact moment I'm supposed to. My graph looks like this from my highest weight. And let's say this line right here is my goal weight. My graph goes like this, straight down. And then when I was almost at my goal weight, there was some psychological stuff happening like, yikes! Oh my gosh, not sure how I feel about this. I don't even know what. Eek! Just E-E-E-E-K, right? My graph goes like this, almost touches goal, back up, and then does a severe, impressive, capital W. So, these past few months since I've been off of here have been a nice giant capital W. God allowed me, and I mean this sincerely, He allowed me to walk down the hallway back to a back bedroom and pull out an old familiar crutch. Sugar and flour and caffeine. To get through an assignment that He gave me in July. I filled in a church nearby my house. I was the substitute preacher for 3 weeks, and I went there for 4 weeks. And I pulled out sugar, flour, and caffeine the way I use sugar and flour and caffeine to earn my bachelor's degree, get 5 newborns to sleep through the night, and earn my master's degree. So, anyways, isn't that impressive? I have a master's degree. Side note, I earned that degree and then quit teaching. I never got one single paycheck with that new master's money on it. When you're a teacher and you have a master's, you get paid more. I never did, not once. Anyways, I have it. They made us get it. I probably wouldn't have it if they hadn't made me get it. I'm glad I got it. I got it in administration. So, blah, blah, blah. Bunch of interesting leadership stuff. Having said that, I used sugar, flour, and caffeine to get a lot accomplished in a couple decades. I turned to it again recently to get a lot accomplished, but God told me, okay, now burn the crutch. He's not even letting me tuck it away in a back bedroom. So, you ready for this? I love this. All right, y'all know I like visuals, right? Here you go. I don't need that old crutch because now I got this gold crutch. Do you love that? I love that. I don't need that old crutch because I got this gold crutch. So I bought this. I found this online and I spent the money on it. You can get it in sterling silver for like $30. Side note. I spent the money and got it in gold because I've kind of got a little gold thing going on lately. Treated myself to this to remind myself that I don't need that old crutch. I've got this gold crutch, and that's what it was, a crutch. And I've told you guys before, I sincerely believe that 2 things about crutches. What do? They help us, right? They help us until when? Until we don't need them anymore. And hear me when I say this. The moment you don't need a crutch anymore, it's doing harm, not good. It's holding you back. So maybe God allowed you to have a crutch in your life for a while, for a period, for a reason. There are things in our lives that aren't necessarily sin until they become sin. It could be a sin for me to eat a carrot if God told me not to eat it. Eating carrots isn't necessarily a sin, but it could be. If it's what I define, I like the definition of sin as when we actively turn our backs on Him. He's not turning His back on us. He tells us there is nothing. Romans 5:38, I believe, 5:39, I don't know. Right there in Romans, He tells us there's nothing that can separate us from His love. You know what? Nothing. But we can turn our backs and we can put a big fat distance between ourselves and Him if we want, and that's sin. So, a crutch, while it's helpful, The minute you don't need it anymore, it's holding you back. So imagine someone with a broken leg and they use a crutch. The crutch is so important, right? The minute the leg is healed, if they're still using that crutch, what good is it doing them? No good. In fact, it's doing harm. It's slowing them down and holding them back. So we need to, Hebrews 12:1. Let us throw off everything that hinders us, and let us run this race with endurance, keeping our eyes fixed on Jesus. That's Hebrews 12:1 and 2, a couple of my very favorite verses. So throw off everything that hinders us. Like Forrest Gump, when he took off running and the braces came off, the minute you don't need them, they're holding you back. So I want you to think of it like this. As a faithful follower of Christ, keep in mind that a crutch can become a sin. God might have allowed it for a period of time, but the moment you discern that he's telling you no more, that's when it becomes a sin. So I'm grateful that he let me turn to it to get some work done that he asked me to do, which, by the way, I got paid a little bit each week, and I used part of that money to buy this, which I thought was appropriate because that task, I got paid a little each week to preach, is what I'm saying. That task is what caused me to need my crutch. The whole thing kind of came full circle. So, but anyways, if he allowed me to walk down the hallway, open up the back bedroom, and pull that sucker out. But it was ugly. Trust me. It was, it got rough. I mean, I ate with tears streaming down my face for the first time ever, and I've heard people describe it that way. I became painfully aware of how serious this is, and it is. It's not serious in the sense that I'm like, oh, I'm ashamed. I'm not, but it's serious in the sense that, there's some psychological stuff and physical stuff going on. Yes, my body wants it, but my brain's like, hey, you're not going to get this tomorrow. You better get it all in. So I'll stop at the dollar store thinking I'm going to get like a candy bar and a Coke like a normal person. No, I go ahead and buy like one of everything they have. It's all the same thing. It's sugar and flour, but I buy 10 or 12 different forms of it. I mean, it just, bleh. So, you can imagine my weight. My graph has a capital W. Now I'm looking for a capital L, right? Let's go straight down and then maintain. So let's go down, and then I freaked out and went up, made a little W. Time for an L. When I'm at my goal weight, I'll show you guys a picture. I love it. So anyways, that's it. I wasn't expecting to make a video. Wow, I really wasn't. Let me tell you, I'm at my husband's grandparents right now. It's beautiful. I can see his grandfather out there playing with the kids. I think I'll take my little decaf, go reheat it, sit with his grandmother, and enjoy some family time. I am going to string along. You know what? I will put this video out there when I'm done with the 10-day detox. I will also attach at the bottom of this video the video that I watched that helped me figure out how to detox. I mean, I'm having this realization, you guys. I've been doing Bright Line Eating for 21 months. I don't think I've ever, in 21 months, felt such profound freedom from sugar, flour, and caffeine. And that's because even when I was doing the 14-day challenge, and I was getting 14 days in a row or 56 days in a row, there was still lots of Gatorade Zero or Propel waters or barbecue sauce, or my video where I said the dip friends. All right, take that with a grain of salt or a grain of sugar, because I might need to delete that video. That did help me for a while, but what's happening, guys, is we're resensitizing. And as you resensitize your body, the pathway out of addiction gets narrower and narrower. Narrower. That's like regularly. You have to really make an effort to say it. It gets narrower. I've seen that for me. What didn't used to cause me problems has been causing me huge problems lately because I'm more sensitive to it. And I'm smaller, by the way, so my body's more sensitive and I can't just do to it what I did. Here's kind of how I think of it. In the beginning, I could make small changes and see huge results. Here towards the end, and I'm okay with this, I got to make huge changes to see small results. but there's no such thing as small results. They're all big results. So anyways, does that make sense? In the beginning, when I weighed 243 pounds, I could just make a couple changes and still eat pretty much the same way I was, but change about 10% of things and the weight was falling off. Now that I don't weigh 243 pounds, I'm like, why is the scale moving? Why am I going up? Why is my weight going up? Well, because these little bitty things that I'm doing, my little bitty body can't handle them. I gotta get some stuff. Seriously, I've had to just really whip my program into shape lately, tighten the ship, and recognize that here you go. I know anybody that's been doing this for a long time is like, yeah, Emily, you think it took me 21 months to get here, but here it is. You ready? The cleaner I eat, the better I feel. The cleaner I eat, the less I crave. So I'm going to attach this detox below. You guys, here's a little nugget for you. Especially as Christians, we know our needs are met in Jesus Christ. He is the living water, and when we turn to him, we will never thirst again. Philippians 4:13, we can do all things through him. John 15:5, we can do nothing without him. Literally, your next thought and your next breath depends on him. He gave you this life. He gave you this brain. We can do nothing without him. He gave us life. He'll take it when he's ready. He gave us everything. He'll take it when it's time. We're not in control quite like we think we are. So especially as Christians, if there is something, let me word it this way, whatever you think you can't live without, whatever you think you cannot live without is probably what you should be living without. And it will not surprise me at all if after 10 days of this detox, I go on to day 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and still don't eat cheese. Because is cheese worth my freedom? No, it's not. Is dairy, and I'm telling you, I'm just increasingly sensitive. You might be too. If you're struggling with unexpected cravings and you've been doing this for a long time, just zoom out and examine your program and see if there's anything in it that could or should go, like natural flavors. Oh my gosh, Susan Pierce Thompson has a video on this. I've been watching videos on YouTube about this. Natural flavors. Watch the videos for yourself. They are a bunch of crap. And I don't use that word lightly. My kids know. I only use that C word when I really mean it. Natural flavors. For one thing, the people that pump natural flavors out are also the people regulating it. So you can't trust that, right? It's self-regulated. So they don't have to, they have no one that they have to like account to or for. The only thing it has to be considered to be considered a natural flavor is it had to start off natural. So like a strawberry. Okay, it started off natural. They soak that in alcohol, they pull out the flavors, they just do crazy things to them. In a lab, let me get comfortable for a second because I'm going to talk to you about natural flavors. They do something to them in a lab. They end up exactly molecularly, scientifically, under a microscope, exactly the same as artificial flavors. Do you hear me? Okay, here's a good example. Vanilla is the #1 flavor, okay, on the planet. I learned this. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this so you don't even have to find the video. Vanilla is the #1 flavor of all time, like across the board. Which, isn't that kind of funny? Because people make fun of vanilla for being like vanilla and boring, but it's kind of got its own look. It's like, yeah, it's laughing its way to the bank, isn't it? Okay. Vanilla, the flavor from it is vanillin. vanillin, vanillin. You can get vanillin. You can get vanillin from vanilla beans. Well, that's a very expensive way to get it. You can also, and I'm not making this up, and I trust this guy that had this in this video or I wouldn't repeat this. You can also get vanillin. Somebody put it in the comments below. Explain this to me. Or tell me, Emily, you've been pranked, you've been punked. I swear, this guy said this. You can get vanillin from some kind of sack from a beaver. I'm not kidding. Some kind of like sack. It makes me think of like anal glands from a dog. If you've got dogs, whatever, you know, you have to get their anal glands squeezed. Come on, people, just stay with me. Have I lost you? some type of beaver anal gland. I wish my husband was here. I'm not going to say wish. Wishing is whiny. I tell people, if you're wishing, quit whining. Unless you're making a wish. I wish I had that. I wish I had your energy. I wish. Quit whining. Okay. I'm going to word it like this. I'd love for my husband to be here right now, because his take on this beaver vanillin was cracking me up one day when I was trying to explain it to him. Anyways, you can imagine getting vanillin from a vanilla bean. It's pretty expensive. Getting vanillin from beaver anal sacs sounds difficult. I've never tried, but it sounds inefficient. Point being, you can make vanillin. It can be made in a lab. Natural flavors are far from natural, and they're addictive, and they light your brain up because they're insanely, just like aspartame is 200 times, fake sugar is 200 times sweeter than regular sugar. Our brains light up at them. So all my little Perrier waters, I'd love if I had one here to show you. I'm about to gift my mom. I'll show you. They're in a truck in front of me. I won't show you, just trust me. There's a truck in front of me, my son's truck, and there's a huge tote. And I'm giving my mom all of my Perrier waters. I spent $125 and stocked up on them because you can buy them cheaper on Amazon. She's getting pineapple, strawberry, watermelon, peach. I don't remember. She's getting all my flavored ones because they all have natural flavors in them. Natural. No more. It's not worth it. I don't want my brain lighting up on all this stuff. I want to be free from it. I just want to eat and fuel and go. I don't want to stop at a gas station and fuel up and then be obsessing about my next gas station. That's what you're missing the point of the fuel if you think fueling is the fun. Okay. So I now just drink Perrier waters that don't have natural. Look on the ingredients. If it says natural flavors, I had to cut it out. Triscuits, bye-bye. I thought Triscuits were causing me problems because they're just so yummy and crunchy and processed and out of a box. No, it's because the smoked Gouda Triscuits don't really have little bits of smoked Gouda cheese on them. They have highly concentrated, laboratory type, artificially manufactured natural flavors on them that just, it's like, of course, if I'm a food addict, which I am, of course, the orange powder on a Cheeto is going to cause me problems. And that's basically what's on these Triscuits. All that powder, all that like MSG. I had to get off MSG once because they were trying to figure out what was causing this allergy of mine. And I thought, I can't have MSG for a week. Then what am I going to eat? You guys, MSG is literally like the powder that they put on top of processed sugar and flour. It's Dorito. It's the orange stuff on your finger. So Triscuits, bye. Pickles, look at your pickles. Natural flavors, bye. I feel really free. The cleaner I eat, the freer I feel. Not everyone would have to do this. My husband can eat an ice cream cone and not think about sugar for 3 weeks, maybe 1 week. I don't know. Actually, we've discovered, he's got his own issues. I believe the fast food company industry has him right where they want him. So there's all sorts of stuff in there too. I'm telling you guys, open your eyes to how the world is manipulating us. I want the gifts that God gives me. I don't want the crap that the world is trying to get me to take. It's not even a gift. I wouldn't call it a gift because they want money in return. So it's a big money grab. Am I right? So I've been scribbling down on my notebook. I've been jotting down. My new mantra is, I am not a victim of the gifts God gives me. My needs are met, period. I've reframed my thinking thanks to a little YouTube video short I watched the other day about framing. Instead of saying 4 out of 5 dentists recommend this toothpaste, somebody could say 1 out of 5 dentists don't. And that's a very negative way to look at it, but 4 out of 5 do. So instead of going to a restaurant and thinking, I can't have everything that everyone else is having, I think I can have what God wants to give me. and I'm grateful for it. So I think that's it. Natural flavors, cheese, none of that is worth freedom. And God wants us to be free, ironically. In one of those sermons that I preached, our cattle are happy and free, and it's not because of their freedom. Our cattle are happy and free, and it's because of their fence. It's because of their boundaries, and I'm grateful for mine. I love you all. Cheers to swapping out old crutches for gold crutches. This has been fun. Very unexpected 30 minutes, and I will post this after I complete my 10-day detox. And down below, I will, like I said, I'll send you a link to just a very simple little video I watched about, how to get off sugar, which Susan Pierce Thompson has helped me get off sugar and flour, but my addiction, I'm gonna blame it on my addiction, weaseled a few things back in, and it's just taken me. She says, hey, I love how Susan Pierce Thompson says, I'm not gonna deny anyone their own research. I've done 21 months of research, and at this point on my journey, again, I don't think these things were causing me the kind of problems they're causing me now. I was able to still make progress, especially with my weight. It's debatable how much progress I was making with my freedom, other than the experience of realizing now I want to be more free than I have been. So sometimes bad experiences are good experiences in that sense. I always tell people things have to get worse before they get better, which means even when they're getting worse, they're getting better. My little capital W, things got kind of bad there for a while, but I could tell in the midst of it that God was with me and that there were lessons to be learned. And I think my major lesson here lately is the cleaner, the better for me. So, the cleaner, the freer. All right. So I am eating, I put myself back on the weight loss plan until I get to my goal weight. I'm like, W. I'm at the top of that W. I don't have far to go to get to my goal weight. But I am back on the weight loss food plan, so I'm eating proteins, grains, no Triscuits, no natural flavors, fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats. And even the fats, you'll see in these pictures, I'm really trying to just do olives and almonds. I have a video that says, if your food seems too boring, it might not be boring enough. I'm invigorated and super excited by this beautiful food that I've been eating lately. And I suppose we'd call it boring, but it's allowing for, I tell people, if food is your way of having fun, it could potentially be the only way you have fun, because it's so, what's the word where it's immobilizing, and it, whatever the word is, where it takes your wide open world and just closes it in. It just, if food is lighting your brain up, you could get to the point where it's about the only thing lighting your brain up, and that's not where we want to be. We want to experience life. So I love you all. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Let us walk by faith, not by sight, being guided by the word, not the world. And there's times I'm literal with this, and I love to be literal about things at times. When my house is a crazy mess and I don't know what move to make, sometimes I close my eyes and I ask the Spirit to lead me. You tell me, you arrange my priorities, Lord. You tell me what move I should make next, because our time and our energy and our money, these are finite resources. And I don't want to open my eyes and let the world or my house lead me and guide me, and I end up totally exhausted, and I really hadn't made any headway, because I have a perfectly organized living room, but I still don't have, I've got hungry, dirty kids and a desperate, I've rendered myself needy. So I close my eyes and I ignore the world. I ignore sometimes the craziness of my own home, and I ask the Spirit to lead me, guide me. Let me walk by faith, not by sight. I don't want to allow the craziness and the chaos of this world to direct my steps. The world is lost. The world is in chaos. It always has. It always will be. 1 John 4:4, he who is in me is greater than he who is in this world. This world is ruled by Satan, period. That's the truth. You can look around and tell. But John 16:33, in this world you will have trouble. Not might, you will. But take heart, I have overcome the world. So, 2 Corinthians 5:7, walk by faith, not by sight. Hang on, Thomas. Galatians 6:9, you're going to be in a video if you come over here. Come here, come over here, come here. Okay, come here. Okay, come here. I will. Come here, Thomas. Come around this way. Thomas, come around.
Can I just back you out? I need to
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead, back me out. This is my 16-year-old. He's so handsome. Say hi. Okay. Oh, wait, there's kids all over. There's a kid with a... If you could see Mary right now. Mary has a Diet Coke and a donut. I'll get a picture. I'll show you. 2 Corinthians 5:7, walk by faith, not by sight. Be guided by the word, not the world. So get in the word, stay in the word. The word is alive. Hebrews 4:12. It's sharper than a double-edged sword. It can divide soul and spirit, bone and marrow.
Right.
It's alive and active. Thanks.
Will you pull back up?
Yeah, what are we doing?
I'm going to ask Tucker.
Oh, okay. Are we still going to the lake?
Yeah, we're going to wait until 5. Tucker's off work.
Okay. All right. Bye, Thomas. One more thing for you. Here's another mantra. Galatians 6:9. Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary of doing what is good, for in the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Guys, let us not grow weary. Don't give up. Don't give up. Period. Keep going and going and going. Let us head in the right direction, and that direction is towards Him. He does not expect perfection, but He does expect direction. And we want to head towards Him, trusting in the promise of James 4:8, that as we draw near to Him, He will draw near to us. I love you. Bye. We'll talk again soon. Okay, so we're still in northern Michigan, and the kids love to stop at a certain little party store around here and get ice cream. I am making a conscious effort to sense sugar and flour as little as possible. Literally sense it, like I don't want it, my 5 senses. I don't want to see it any more than I need to. Hear it, it does make noise. I can hear you crinkling that. Opening wrappers. Like when your dog comes running because they hear you tearing open the cheese or whatever. Yeah. Cellophane makes noise. I obviously don't want to taste it or smell it or touch it any more than I have to. So the less that I sense it externally, you know, I'm on this detox right now, and I'm on day 6. Day 6 is actually done. The sun is setting. I'm finished eating for the day. Okay, stop doing that for a second. But it's amazing how internally I'm craving it less. So my insides, I'm truly detoxing, and I'm helping myself not crave it so much just internally. I don't want to sort of inadvertently cause myself to crave it because of external stuff. Okay. So when the kids all go in, they just went in to get ice cream. I actually just stayed out in the car. I asked my husband to go in and get it. And what I've been doing lately is when they get ices or ice cream, I just get a cup of ice. And it is surprising how well that works, because yes, we love the flavor, we love the sweetness, we love the color, we love the waffle cones, but part of why we love ice cream and popsicles is because of the coldness. It's just cold and wet and yummy. And so I've been getting a cup of ice, and I'll probably use a spoon and eat this like ice. So my husband brought this out to me. He said, here's your ice creamless, your creamless ice. Mary, I left her in this car with me right now so I could interview her. I saw what she had. I took a little peek and said, oh, Mary, that's so pretty. And show them what you did to my face from the back seat.
I said, I'm saving your mind.
That's exactly right.
Oh, also, I got this sucker from Good and Charles and Uncle because he ate up my knee.
Okay. She is telling you that she got that sucker if she was good. The people that own the store gave it to you? Okay. Rewarding with sugar, right? Anyways, Mary, I took a little peek at her ice cream and she patted my face and she said, no, like she told me don't look at her ice cream, and she said, come here. She said, what?
I'm saving your mind.
I'm saving your mind. Thank you, Mary, for saving my mind. And it worked.
And that, you're not supposed to think about that.
That's right.
So I'm like, no, I'm blocking this. You're not allowed to eat it.
That's exactly right. I'm not going to eat it, and I don't even need to be looking at it. So, all right. You want to say anything else?
Check on that last video to see how I can climb good on the bunk bed.
Oh, that video will not go on here, but boy, this kid can climb bunk beds. All right. I just wanted to show you all my ice, my creamless ice. This is not ice cream, just ice. And my dear Mary, that is helping me save my mind. Bye. Okay, gorgeous Lake Huron here in northern Michigan. We are having fun, aren't we? This is Clara, my strawberry blonde. Okay, jump, ready? Oh, you're heavy. Okay, my big 6-year-old. So we're leaving here to go get
Ice cream.
ice cream. And what am I gonna get?
Ice.
Ice. A cup of ice with a spoon.
It's called green, no ice cream.
That's right, creamless ice cream.
Yeah.
My frozen treat. You want to say anything else?
No.
All right, let's enjoy. It's kind of chilly, but let's enjoy this beautiful day. Okay, I got my ice. I actually had to go to a different gas station to get it because they did not have it at the little ice cream shop. I also, after all those kids got ice cream, I went back to our cabin and snuck in a nap. So not eating ice cream and napping, sleeping, those two things will help my program. Also, just sleeping, and sometimes I take a nap, and if I wake up and I'm still thinking about food, I go back to sleep if I can. Sleeping will level out the chemicals and the hormones in my brain better than anything, which is why I got myself in big trouble. It's how I gained 100 pounds, 15 years of turning to food when I was exhausted, like I talked about earlier. So to break that cycle and break that habit, I'm really aiming to rest when I can. Out of the mouth of babes, that's scripture, by the way, somewhere in the, out of the mouth of babes. Somewhere in the Bible, it actually says that, out of the mouth of babes. One day, my 6-year-old heard me telling someone, yeah, well, I couldn't used to sleep. I had so many kids, and I had to teach, and I had to do this, I had to do this, I had to do all these things. I wasn't able to sleep, so I just turned to food, and she said, I had all these babies, and she said, she was like in the background, and she said, but you don't anymore. And I was like, touche, good point. So I don't want to use old, tired excuses. I don't need the crutches that I used to need. So anyways, yay for napping and yay for not eating ice cream. And the funny thing is, you guys, I'm telling you, just a piece of ice it's like the ice cream without all the sugar that, I mean, who wants that anyways? I'm kidding. I get that it's tasty, but in all seriousness, you know, sometimes when you eat ice cream, it makes you feel thirsty, or then you want more. Then I don't know. It's just, I'm not trying to sound ridiculous, but there are some things I enjoy about ice more than ice cream, if you can believe that. Also, here's a little tidbit. Here's a little side note. When we sleep, we dehydrate. When you wake up in the morning, you're dehydrated. I start the day, every day I drink 32 ounces of water before I eat my first meal. And I have followed suit. If I can sneak in a nap during the day, I wake up from the nap and drink water immediately. So I just now took a nice little nap and then woke up and drank 2 bottles of water. So follow. Here's a little tidbit for you. If you want it, take it or leave it. I just bit my lip. Take it or leave it. Follow rest with water. Okay? All right. That is in my video called The High Five. Number 1 is God. That's our number 1 priority. He's the living water. When we turn to him, we will, Psalm 23, I shall not want, right? But as far as like a little checklist to go through, like, are my needs met? Are my needs met? And if you have little kids, I guarantee you, there's a good chance there's a couple of your needs that are not met because you're meeting needs around you. But I tell people, keep yourself on the list of people whose needs you meet. So, I am not one of these people that's like, oh, my kids come first. If they always came first, I couldn't take very good care of them, right? It's oxygen mask. We have to pull it down and put it on ourselves. I went to the dentist last year, and I've got 5 kids, so I'm there all the time. I'm like at the dentist, I'm at the doctor's office. I'm just always, you know, just regularly, there's that word, regularly at these places. And she said, Emily, you need to make an appointment for yourself. And I was like, oh, really? How long has it been? Because I'm here all the time. I'm embarrassed to say this. I'm not really embarrassed. It's just shocking. But I'll tell you. I think this was after kid 5 had been born. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sure she had been born. But you guys, I said, well, how long has it been since I've been here? Like, I'm thinking, I can tell, you know, I mean, I'm sure it's been a while, but I mean, am I that overdue? Like, you know, I like to think I go every 6 months. She said, Emily, you have not been seen for 6 years. How is that possible? We know how. Kid. Oh my gosh. 6 years? That still blows my mind. She had to show me. I was like, no. It's true. I had been to that dentist office over and over, but never with myself in the chair. So anyways, God, then here's the order: rest, water, nutrition. And when you got those 4 in order, you're going to want some activity. You'll be feeling so good. So God, then rest, then water, then nutrition, then activity. Alrighty. So, you know, Susan Pierce Thompson says, when you're in the weight loss phase, keep those bunny slippers on, you know. But just life in general, just allow your battery to recharge, and recognize that if you get your battery down to like 10%, that's just a danger zone, especially for the whole what the hell effect and the big fact, which is a real thing. Susan Pierce Thompson talks about the what the hell effect. When you get down to like 10%, 8%, 7%, your eyes are crossed, they're barely open, and you're like, you know what? Forget it. This is too much. I need to run down the hall back to the back bedroom and pull out an old familiar crutch. That's a danger zone that we want to avoid. So I told my husband the other day, I said, I need to eat my lunch. I wonder when I should eat it. And he said, before you get hungry. Amen. Wise man I'm married to. We want to rest before we're exhausted. We want to drink water before we're totally dehydrated. We want to eat before we're completely famished. All right. I love you guys. That's it for now. We will talk again soon. Bye. at my husband's grandmother's house, about to eat some brisket and vegetables. Realized my scale is at home. Thank you, Diana, for giving me this scale that I keep in my car, so I can head back in the house and get myself 4 ounces of meat and 14 ounces of vegetables. I already have a half an ounce of almonds in my purse, ready to go. Bye. So with 5 kids, food disappears really quickly. I bought all this produce at a little produce stand yesterday, and there used to be blueberries sitting right there. They're gone. I'm so glad I went ahead yesterday and claimed 6 ounces for me. I'm about to make my breakfast, and I have 6 ounces of blueberries I get to add to my breakfast because I claimed them yesterday before they disappeared. So that's something I do often. Just to make sure I might not get it today. I like the phrase, it's not denying, it's delaying. I might not get the food today, I'll get it sometime. And I did that also when I made a bunch of bacon. A little bit for me. Good morning. It's still morning, barely. I'm gonna make this quick. Greetings from gorgeous northern, very, very northern Michigan, almost in the Upper Peninsula. We are staying in this cute little cabin. We're actually leaving tomorrow morning, but today is the big family reunion, which is why I'm wearing purple. My husband's great-grandfather was one of 13. And so now they have this reunion every year that I don't know that we've ever been able to make it to. And every family wears, every one of those 13 has a color. So we're gonna be representing for the purple branch. I'm making this quick. I've still gotta go decorate a cake. Today's my son's 17th birthday. 2 things, and then I'm gonna jump into what I'm about to tell you. I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna handle this family reunion. So I had no intention of making a video. This is so funny. And when I made that 37-minute clip from earlier, I just thought I would kind of record a little bit, maybe for the future. But this is going to be the near future. I will upload this and post it when I get back. Today is day 8. Lipstick on my teeth. I'm telling you, this Dollar General lipstick gets on your teeth. Today's day 8 of my 10-day detox. Hallelujah. I'm feeling so much better. And I'm 8 days detoxed from the drug that I'm addicted to, from sugar and flour. It's 8 days out of my system. I don't want to take that for granted. So, okay, these are the 2 things very quickly I want to tell you. When I talk about dehydration, part of the reason we want to avoid dehydration is because when we're dehydrated, our bodies interpret that as hunger a lot of the time. Because back in the day, our body could have told us, hey, you're hungry, when really we're thirsty, so that we would go eat something fresh, like fruit off a tree or a vegetable out of the garden or something like that, and then our body would get the water that it's after. So a lot of times when our body tells us we're hungry, it's actually trying to tell us we're thirsty. So we want to go ahead and take care of that right off the bat when we wake up. Again, I was saying earlier, I learned this years and years ago, that when we sleep, we dehydrate. So you can imagine, like when you take your sunglasses and you go to clean them and you breathe on them, there's liquid on there, there's moisture on there from your breath. So you're losing water just through breathing. So when you lay there and sleep all night and breathe in and out all night, you are losing water. You wake up dehydrated. Drink the water immediately, and that'll help with false hunger signals. So I wanted to add that. I realized I didn't really explain that. Also, rewards. You will see in this vlog lots of rewards. My tally marks, those are rewards getting me to a pedicure. And I have a video that I love called Rewards Are Tools. And here's what I want to tell you about rewards. Rewards are not just for when we cross the finish line. There you go, you did the good thing, now you get your reward. Rewards get us to the finish line. So just like a horse with a dangling carrot in front of him, rewards are the dangling carrot to get us to the finish line. Rewards, hear me when I say this, rewards provide a dopamine hit. We were getting loads of dopamine hits from sugar and flour. We don't want our dopamine to come from sources like that. We want our dopamine to come from things that are beneficial to our well-being and our health. So a pedicure is not going to hurt. New lipstick's not going to hurt. A 15-minute break is not going to hurt. I use rewards when I'm doing laundry. I tell myself, if you put away, I pick a number. If you fold 33 items, then you get to take 10 sips of water. I mean, the whole point is that it breaks our goals up into manageable bites, and the rewards are things that are beneficial to us also. It's kind of like when people say, oh my gosh, when I lose 10 pounds, I get to go to my favorite restaurant. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want our rewards to be detrimental to our goals. So think of rewards as tools. Rewards are tools that get us to our goal. And another thing that you can think is, in terms of dopamine, we are creating an artificial dopamine release, an artificial dopamine setup or scenario, meaning let the rewards release dopamine until eventually your program, Bright Line Eating, what you're wanting to do anyway, will release its own dopamine because you'll be so amazed at how good you feel. That doesn't happen right away. You know, these endeavors that we head out on, like Bright Line Eating or any type of like life-changing, momentum-changing, momentum building, momentum reversing, when we have been headed in one direction for a long time and we're trying to change that to go in another direction, that can be very difficult, and you can see it's heartbreaking to see people that they think they're at the point of no return. There's no such thing. There's no point of no return, but it can sure feel that way. So maybe someday I will find folding the laundry and putting it away rewarding in itself. If not, so be it. I will continue rewarding myself 30 minutes of laundry, Emily, and you get to sit for 15 minutes. 30 minutes of laundry and you get to watch a silly YouTube video. 30 minutes of laundry and you get to go have lunch. Maybe someday I won't have to reward myself to do the laundry. Having the laundry done will be its own reward. Same goes for Bright Line Eating. Maybe eventually just following Bright Line Eating will be its own reward. That may or may not ever happen, and it's okay. It's okay because I can reward myself in the right direction all along. I do expect that it will get to that point because I can tell just 8 days in, I'm feeling so good. I actually feel highly protective of my newfound detoxed body, my newfound the purity in my body right now without all those toxins. We had some coleslaw last night at my grandmother-in-law's, and my husband was like, you could probably have it. I don't think it's got sugar in it. And I was like, I'm not taking the risk. I don't want to light this brain back up. I'm finally getting this 2-year-old to quit throwing tantrums. I've finally put this fire out. I've finally calmed things down. I don't want to rev it back up. It reminds me of just a terrible thunderstorm with flooding afterwards. There's so much recovery to do. There's so much recovery to do when we get tangled up with the drugs that we're addicted to. And I'm 8 days recovered right now, and I am highly protective of that. So again, rewards are not just for the finish line. They are to get us moving in the right direction all the while. use them as tools until eventually you won't need them anymore, because like I said, it's very possible that just following the program or just doing the laundry, it's its own reward in itself. It produces its own dopamine. You don't have to create dopamine hits for it. So I'm in the process right now of creating some dopamine hits. I am getting those tally marks. You saw them on my hand. And there are nights where I get all my tally marks after dinner when ghrelin, the hunger hormone, kicks in. If you scroll back in my videos, there's all kinds of videos on these topics. But in the evening, ghrelin, the hunger hormone, kicks in. And that's really a little battle to fight, especially for women. And I've been fighting it with tally marks. So instead of getting the dopamine from the food in the evenings, I'm getting the dopamine hits, that happy feel-good chemical release from my tally marks and from not eating it and from sticking to this program and looking forward to my pedicure that I'm earning. So having said all that, there's good reason to stay hydrated, tied in with our hunger. There's also good reason to reward yourself. Use dangling carrots. Speaking of which, let me tell you, we are headed to this reunion. The way I see it, I have 5 options or potential outcomes. 3 are bingy, 2 are bright. The 3 bingy outcomes are just go over there and just lose it and just go for it here on the last day of our trip. And this has been a perfectly bright trip. I think of Templeton from Charlotte's Web. I would end up being Templeton. Someone would find me out back, leaned up against the building, while everyone else is playing softball. I would be like, bleh, with my belly just full, right? I'm not going to do that. The other option is to pretend like I'm normal and just make kind of a normal plate, even though I would have to look people in the eyes, because enough people know that I'm doing this. They've seen the weight loss. They know that I'm following this. I would have to sort of jokingly kind of laugh it off and be like, well, I'm taking the day off, ha ha. That's not funny. I'm realizing that is literally like if I had a friend or family member that is in recovery from alcoholism looking at me at some barbecue with, a couple beers saying, yes, I've been doing good. I'm in recovery, but I'm taking the night off. That's kind of awkward. So I could do that. I could just make up a plate and pretend like I'm normal and then leave there and start binging and binge until midnight, which I did recently. My husband and I went out to lunch with some friends and I just got a little Sprite and a little meal. And then we left there. I was like, now feed me. I said, you and I both know that wasn't nearly enough. That was a tease. And we went to a gas station and I got donuts and chips and this and that. It was, I'm telling you that my graph is a capital W. He had to run in Walmart. I ran in Walmart and got fried chicken after we just left a restaurant. And boy, did I get swollen to the point of, I gained 12.3 pounds in 21 days, I think. And, it was rough. And swollen to the point where I was like, whoa, these don't even look like my limbs. But I'm so happy to see ankle bones and kneecaps again. My third option would be and this one involves some denial. Is that possible? Can you be aware of your own denial? This one would be just go over there, kind of make a normal meal, and then say, maybe I can just eat normal today. Maybe I can. Susan Pierce Thompson talks about doing our own research. I've done that research. No, I can't, because I'd come home and I'd think, I just blew my 8-day streak. Darn it. I guess I'll start over tomorrow. What am I going to eat tonight? Especially tonight around 8, 9, 10 o'clock when that ghrelin kicks in. And I've been putting myself to bed. I've been putting on pajamas, brushing my teeth, giving my brain all sorts of cues that we are done eating. It's time for bed, because that is a hard battle to fight. And I don't want to fight it in the kitchen. I'd rather fight it with my head on the pillow. So those are my 3 binge options. Just lose it, or just eat normal and then leave there and eat, or eat normal and then see if I can just be normal. No, I can't. My brain's addicted. So no, and no. The bright options are to take my scale over there, and in the midst of a plethora of, I can just imagine, because I've already been hearing about it, all the food that's going to be there, right? so much food. I could take my little scale and try and pick through in front of people, in front of hundreds of people, try and pick through and get this out of this and this. You know how like at these potluck type places, just about everything's going to be mixed together with loads of ingredients, you know? There's not often like a tray of carrots. So no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to have to pick through and try and get, and I don't want, I've been telling you guys, I want to sense it less. I don't want to see it, touch it, taste it, hear it, smell it. I don't want to sense it any more than I have to. So I don't want to be interacting with it like, excuse me pie, excuse me cookies, I'm trying to get to some lean meat. No, that would be torture for me. So here's my bright option. Speaking of dangling carrots, Diana, how cute are these? I bought Diana and I each one of these. This is my dangling carrot. This is my lunch, and I am not going to eat it yet. I don't feel like I need it. I would if I thought I needed the fuel, but I'm not. We're just going to go on over there, and I'm going to have this, and I can sneak off anytime I want and eat this. I will be there available to serve and have fun and feed the kids and do all this and get some water to drink with maybe a little ice, right? A little fancy. I know, well, I'm crazy. But I've got this dangling carrot, and I will know that when all this like wave of eating, now there'll be food all day long, but this wave of eating is over with, I'll know I still have my lunch. So you saw the pictures, 6 ounces of vegetables, 6 ounces of Michigan plums and peaches, so yummy. Let's see here, for my protein, and listen, it's down to slim pickings because we've been here for a while and I'm running out of stuff. I've been writing stuff in my diary that I actually realize I don't have. My protein is 2 ounces of bacon. I do let myself have half a protein worth of bacon. 2 ounces of bacon and 1 ounce of almonds for my protein. My fat, you saw what I did. I have 1 ounce of olives, and then I did a half a tablespoon of olive oil and put seasoning in there. I'm telling you, I'm running out of food, and I'm just going to use that olive oil and olives to dip these in. So that is it. I just wanted to share with you all how I'm going to handle this. And I'm going to keep it bright. You know, when we say we have a goal weight, it's not a goal weight unless you're really aiming for it. And I'm aiming for mine. This capital W has been fun, sort of, not really. It's been painful and lesson learning, but I want my goal weight. I also want peace, internal peace. I want to be done with the cycle of cravings, and I am so aware lately that, and this has taken me almost 2 years to learn this, I'm so aware lately that when I turn to sugar and flour, it is infinitely, profoundly worse than just making the scale spike. Because to reintroduce all that to my system causes the cravings. And I want to be free from all that. They're just not worth it. The cons outweigh the pros. So that's another video I have, when the cons finally outweigh the pros. I tell people, you can eat whatever you want. You can. We know this. We know that we have the ability, the authority. We literally can eat whatever we want. We can. Nobody is forcing us to do this. We can eat whatever we want. You can eat whatever you want. The idea here, the challenge, is to change what we want. Mentally, physically, spiritually. Lisa Turker says we crave what we eat. This is the kind of food I want my body wanting. So that's it for now. We are headed to a family reunion. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay, we're here. I've never seen so many crock pots in my life. What are you starting to notice? Dessert?
I'm gonna have to pick desserts because I thought Thomas's cake was gonna be like the other, just the only one, and everybody can take a few pieces.
She thought the cake we brought was gonna be the only dessert here. Anyways, I forgot to mention earlier, Susan Pierce Thompson has a great vlog where she says sometimes the easiest thing to eat is nothing. That is most definitely the easiest thing for me to eat right now. If you could see all this food, I'm so glad I am not going to have to make 1,000 decisions and totally deplete my willpower. So I've got my perfect bright lunch out in the car, and I am here to help and serve and enjoy. Okay, so the family reunion was fun and it went well, and I just snuck outside for a little while and ate my dangling carrot lunch that was delicious and perfect for me. I just very successfully bypassed all of those decisions in there, all of those casseroles and potluck type dishes mixed with all kinds of stuff and all those desserts. Oh my gosh, so much. Guys, thanks for traveling with me on this. This was absolutely an unintentional vlog. I was not planning on vlogging my way through this vacation. Look at those Michigan trees. But I think it's been very helpful for me, and I really don't know how well I would be doing right now if it weren't for you guys and me filming this, because right now I want to report that I am in a danger zone. I'm in what I call the post-event danger zone. So it's where you plan, you have your game plan, and you execute your game plan really well, with an event, whether it's a wedding or a day at the amusement park or a family reunion. But then, let's see what Mary wants. Yes? Probably in his truck, so you go get on the porch. Okay, so you have a plan, you execute your plan, it all goes so great, and you almost feel so accomplished that you're like, now I can relax. And guys, I want to show you the danger zone I'm in right now. We spent $40 on this cake. This happy birthday Thomas cake, 0 bites got taken out of it. So, and I'm not surprised there was so much food there. So I am bringing this cake back home. My family will enjoy it, but this cake is made up of the two things that I am addicted to, sugar and flour. I do not want to let my brain think of this as a birthday cake or a birthday event or some type of way of celebrating. There's no way around it. If I stuck my finger in there and came out with some icing, that's sugar, and then right below that is flour, and they are addictive. They're highly addictive. They're white powders. It's all forms of the same thing. You know, when you go to the candy aisle and you see all the candy and all the cookies and all the cupcakes and all the baked goods, it's all the same thing. It's all sugar and flour that are highly addictive, and I am highly addicted to them. So I just wanted to report. I think that's one of the best things we can do is get the thoughts that are in us out, whether it's in a journal or on YouTube or with a friend or with your family. Satan is the Lord of silence. I love that. And I do not want to hang out with my drug, the drug that I'm addicted to, and my addiction and the enemy tempting me and my human nature, my flesh wanting it. I don't need to be hanging out there by myself. It's good for me to reach out and share that I'm in a danger zone that I will navigate successfully. So I see lots of tally marks in my future. I also, after I get this off my lap, I don't want to sense it anymore. I don't need to see it or think about it. I don't need to see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it. I just need to focus on something else. Again, this is not just like a yummy snack or a birthday to celebrate. This right here is sugar and flour. That's all it is. That's all it boils right down to. And I'm addicted to sugar, flour, and binging, and I am finding peace. And I'm finding peace in avoiding them all together. Bye. Okay, one of many things about Bright Line eating that make my life simpler, grocery shopping. So I'm here at this little grocery store. We've got one more night in this small town, and I just stopped by and got sparkling water, chicken, almonds, and some sea salt that I should keep with me anywhere I go, because did you know that iodized salt has sugar in it, and most places use iodized salt? Look at it, look at the ingredients. Dextrose, it's used to bond the sodium or the salt with the iodine. It's sugar, and my addiction figured it out because I started using loads of it. Anyways, check this out, the simplicity. Okay, so everyone got takeout from an awesome restaurant here in town. Chicken Alfredo, big subs, just a bunch of yummy takeout. I stopped by the grocery store and got that chicken you just saw. Happy August 1st. So we are about to pack up and head out of here. I still got a couple sleeping, but we got to hit the road. We got a long drive home. The Way of Him verse for this morning was Romans 8:6. So letting your sinful nature control your mind leads to death, but letting your spirit control your mind leads to life and peace. And that is, that's just like an overarching theme of this whole Bright Line eating journey. We are in a battle with our spirit and our flesh and our spirit. And when we have accepted Christ and received a new spirit, we are new creations. 2 Corinthians 5:17. We're new creations in Christ. We have a new spirit, and our old ways are battling for their ways. So Romans 8:6 is exactly what Mary was doing for me earlier this week when I was telling you that she patted me on the face and said, she's going to help me with my mind. So thank you, Mary, for that. Thank you, God, for that verse. I'll attach that right after this. I'm feeling sort of unexpectedly pensive, I guess is the word. Just sort of a heaviness, a realization that that we want to be aware and grateful for what we have, because we don't have what we have forever. We have what we have for seasons. And I have little kids for a season right now, and I have some family members for a season right now. And not only might it be a year before we get to see them again, but there's a lot of people we may never see again. And that's true for anybody, anywhere, but especially our family members that are getting older. So I just, this trip has really brought things into focus for me to just appreciate what I have while I have it. And one more thing. When I was talking about weeping the other night, are you cold? Come here. We do, I don't know, you can take that blanket. Are you going back out? Okay, go get my jacket. Go get my jacket and put it on. Do you see it right there? I'll help you zip it up. When I used to teach special ed, every year we would do a CPT training, crisis prevention training. And it's where working with kids with severe behavior issues and disorders, we would be trained on how to help them, how to restrain them if needed. And the final stage of working with kids like that, after they have been, and of course restraining them was only something we would have to do last resort if they were going to hurt themselves or others, which they would. I mean, I was working with severe cases. The final stage to that is tension release. And that's when the child has struggled and struggled and struggled and fought and fought and fought. And finally, they come back down off of that, and they are lucid again, and their thoughts are clear again. And that's when they typically cry and a lot of times apologize. That's what I experienced the other night when I wanted to just randomly eat something just to break my lines, to rebel from this whole deal. And then I didn't, and then I wept. That's tension release. That is tension being released. That is, like I said, I compare it to being like a wild Mustang that finally got broke, or just total surrender. And basically what I'm saying is I'm grateful to get to that point where I release the tension. I stop fighting. I stop struggling. It's like, it reminds me of a child and their mom is trying to put a turtleneck on them, and they finally just stop fighting. They just quit struggling and let the turtleneck slip on over their head. So tension release is kind of the phrase for what I experienced the other night. I wanted to share that with you all. Speaking of turtleneck, I've got a kid here. Not a turtleneck, but a hoodie, because okay, so tension release is why I have as number 7 on my emergency action plan, cry if you need to. Cry. Just let it all out. Just cry. It's part of the grieving process. It's part of the process. I have not done that in a long time. I did in the beginning. I remember one Friday night. Friday nights were really hard because that's when I would use food to cope and connect with cope with life and connect with my kids. And I wanted to take them to the movies, darn it. And I wanted to like have a pizza party with them. And I was like, I don't know how to have fun with my kids without binging. And I just wept. I wanted to go to the movies, but I didn't want to binge, and I just cried. And I just haven't done that in a long time. So I'm kind of glad to have done it again. It's really a healthy part of this process. It's progress. When I used to get therapy I've got therapy for years, and you know, when the therapist would ask the right question that would like cause the tears to bubble up, I was like, oh, we're making progress. So anyways, cry is part of my emergency action plan. If you want to see that video about my emergency action plan, all 7 steps, you can scroll through my videos and find it. So there you go. Don't be afraid to cry. It's productive. It can be very productive. I'm getting rained on. Bye. We are on our road trip home, and my family is stopping at Jimmy John's. I am going to be eating what I packed this morning, whatever I could come up with that we still had left. 6 ounces of green peppers, 6 ounces of plums, 2 ounces of almonds for my protein and half an ounce of almonds for my fat. And I just dug through the back and found my nutritional yeast, so a half an ounce of this. I will definitely be earning a tally mark or 10 at this meal because I'm just kind of hungry, and a sub with a big fountain drink and a bag of chips sounds delicious. But no, I will stay the course. And I will not pull out that old crutch. I'll pull out this one. So anyways, go me! Woo! Look what I got. The good ice. Yay! Day 9 of detox. We're almost home. I'm going back out to the car to get half an ounce of almonds. I'm going to go in there and have 4 ounces of steak and 14 ounces of vegetables. I'm going to weigh it and measure it on my scale. You guys, I'm feeling so free. I'm feeling free from the being tangled up with wanting more, or wanting what everyone else around me has. I was just telling my mom on the phone, and I want to finish explaining to her that I have this new perspective that God has given me. I'm getting rained on. This new perspective that God has given me that, you know what, this is a gift to me. This is my prescribed medication, and other people around me don't have to take the same thing I take, the same medicine that I take. He's asking me to do this. He's giving me this without being dramatic, but this cross to bear, this issue with addiction. Yes, a lot of other people have it. He may or may not, they may or may not ever address it. And you know what? I'm not going to judge them and think that they should. I think that God probably gives a lot of us crutches that he just lets us have our whole life. But Luke 12:48, to much is given, much is expected. Much is given to me, and I know he expects a lot out of me. So I want to be ready and willing to do the tasks that he gives me, to do the assignments, to complete the jobs that he gives me. And the funny thing is, ironically, this is one of them, but I see this as, I have a video called More Than Sober. I think that's what the video is called. And my point is, the goal is not to be sober. This is the bridge. Sobriety is the bridge to get us to our Jeremiah 29:11, the plans God has for us, and to get us to our Habakkuk 1:5, where God tells us, if you knew what was in your future, if you knew what I had planned for you, you wouldn't even believe it. You can't even imagine what I'm going to do in your days. So I sincerely believe that God has work for me to do. He's got work for us all to do. That work is different for everyone. And I'm going to quit looking at everyone else and saying, hey, why don't they have to do what I do? Well, for one thing, I'm not going to complain, because I love the quote, if we all put our problems in a big pile, we'd be real quick to pull our own right back out. I refuse to complain about listen to that, having to eat delicious, abundant foods in just the right amounts. I mean, when you start saying it like that and thinking of it like that, I'm going to embarrass myself complaining about something like that. But there are people, and I'm not going to list it, we all can imagine, dealing with just such difficult circumstances. I believe it's 2 Corinthians chapter 12, where 2 Corinthians 12:9 is, it's in our weakness that his strength is shown. In 2 Corinthians 12:8, Paul talks about the thorns in his flesh, and he asks God to take them away. 3 times he asked to take away the thorns that are in his flesh, and God didn't. And when he won't take away the thorns in our flesh, we can rest assured that he is using them for good. Romans 8:28. All things work together for the good of those who are called according to his purpose. So I have thorns in my flesh, you guys. We all do. That's why I was just happy to get up there and preach and share good news to people that are experiencing pain, and that's all of us. So I refuse to complain about my issues. Like I said, I refuse to complain about the steak and vegetables and almonds I'm about to eat. And again, what I was telling my mother is that I'm realizing that this is my medication, and my husband, for example, doesn't have to take my medicine. No one around me has to take my medicine. In fact, if they did that to support me, it'd be bad for them. And if it's bad for them, it's bad for me, because one of the best things we can do for each other is to take excellent care of ourselves. So for instance, if my husband had a migraine, it would do him no good for me to take Excedrin in support of him. If I started taking medicine that I don't need to support him, he's calling. If I started taking medicine that I don't need to support him, it would not be good for my health, which would not be good for our marriage, which would not be good for him. So he's got his own issues to work out. He's got a little weight of his own to lose, but I don't think he needs to be doing exactly what I'm doing. I do believe Bright Line Eating was prescribed to me by God. I'm going to follow my prescription as prescribed, and I'm going to call my husband back now. Bye. Hey, I get to have a spontaneous dinner with my mom. Hi! And my scale.